Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, California. And I hope everybody is having a great hump day. We have got a lot of news to go over in a very short amount of time. And I don't even know what to start with on this one, but we're going to have to get right to it. Greetings, everyone. So we will start with who is here. And we've got Sheila Allen, Sheila Alien, Jason Castillo, Wayne Nelson, Matthew Matson, Chris Persia and his wrench, both Matthew Matson and Chris Persia with their wrench, Philly G, Cato W. Gustafsson, I can't say that, Jack Ash, Michael Billington. Yes, it's Nooner Time, Liger fan. What's up? Bastard, Von Max, and Chris Rose. And I got to go to my other screen. This one's going way too fast for me. Let's see. Matt Guy. We've got Retro Stokes, Stefan W., Patrick Bell, US Dutch Kitty, who is a member, Judacon, Hempty, Metal Mario, Paula, what's up? How's it going? Okay, so Doctor Who news will have to wait. That's the one thing I will not be talking about in the live stream because I'm in the middle of recording a video which should come out this evening. And it will be the Doctor Who rumors that I've been sitting on. Yes, it is time to talk about those, but that'll be in a video. And it'll probably be a separate video about the comic stuff we're going to go over briefly. But we got like 5 big subjects today. So let's start with, and thanks everyone for being here. So we'll start with the good news, bad news as people roll in, and then we'll get into the Comic Crisis stuff, and then we'll talk about Bad Robot. So all the things we're going to talk about today, hopefully before this ends, is Michael Keaton being in Batman Beyond, possibly. We're going to talk about Bad Robot going full-on propaganda. We're going to talk about the Winds of Winter update we got yesterday, which is some probably bad news for a lot of people, and including yours truly. That new comics pledge that came out yesterday that I talked about on the Bags and Boards live stream, but I haven't talked about it on my channel. And maybe we'll get to a little bit of the Karen Republic. The first chapter has been released, and we'll see what that's all about. Excuse me. But let's start out with... and again, we just got to get right to it. George R. Martin's not a blog. So, some deleted scenes were released yesterday. I tweeted about it from Game of Thrones Season 8, reminding us all what an utter disaster the whole thing was. And the first deleted scene was Jon and Daenerys walking up to some people digging the trenches around Winterfell. And it was some of the Unsullied and some of the Northern soldiers. The Northern soldiers disrespect Daenerys to her face. One practically spits on her shoes. And Jon Snow, you're my queen, just sits there and smiles. Freaking smiles. They completely cucked his role, and it had something to do with identity politics. I don't care what anybody says. That did derail the show. And upon further review, I'm not entirely sure how good the show really was. In its entirety, it's about how it finishes, and it finished like crap. So our only hope was the book. If you're a fan of the books, and I'm a fan of the books, that, George was hard at work for 9 years on the Winds of Winter. 9 years. It's almost been 10 years. Well, he's been locked up in his cabin for months now, working on the Winds of Winter, and he has given us an update. Let's go to Not a Blog and see what he has to say. Writing. June 23rd, 2020 at 9:38 a.m. Almost 24 hours ago this posted. I have to confess, after a year and a half of the beer bug, quarantine, and social distancing, I am showing signs of cabin fever, half of which is quite literal in my case. Yes, I am in an actual cabin in the mountains. No, I have no fever. Yay. For the present, at least. I am healthy. For an out-of-shape guy of 71 at least, and I'm doing all I can to stay that way. If nothing else, the enforced isolation has helped me write. I am spending long hours every day on the Winds of Winter and making steady progress. I finished a new chapter yesterday, another one 3 days ago, another one the previous week. But no, this does not mean the book will be finished tomorrow or published next week. It's going to be a huge book, and I still have a long way to go. Please do not give any credence to any of the clickbait websites that like to parse every word of my posts as if they were papal oh man, that's a big word for me. Encyclopedias or what? I don't even know what it is. And divine hidden meanings. It's amazing I can read books at all, to be honest with you. Well, the divine hidden meaning here is it's not going to be done by July 2020 like he promised. He said, I'd like to have a manuscript in hand by Conzealan. Hang on a second here. And he is just letting us know that it will not be done by July 2020. I want you to think about how many preview chapters are already out there. I'm going to try to count this off the top of my head, but we have 2 from Tyrion. So that's 1, 2 from Barristan, 1 from Victarion, a partial one. We have 1 from Theon. We have 2 from, we have 1 from Elaine, which is, then we have 2, did I say Tyrion already? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or 14 chapters out there already. We knew he took some out of Dance with Dragons, and he's been working on chapters for 9 years, and he's not done yet. So he goes into how fast he used to write, and he gives us some hints on who he's writing about. He does not mention Jon Snow. Jon Snow is still dead. So for those of you who don't know, those of us who have been reading the books, Jon Snow is still lying bleeding in the snow at Castle Black. So I was heartbroken when Conzealan was forced to go virtual due to the pandemic, and I had to cancel my exciting plans, for a long trip down to Wellington with Paris and my minions. He calls his entourage his minions. That's nice. But there is definitely a silver lining in the cloud. The last thing I need right now is a long interruption that might cost me all the momentum I have built up. I can always visit Wellington next year when I hope to have both the Beer Bug and the Winds of Winter. When the Beer Bug and the Winds of Winter will be done. Well, unfortunately, George, the Beer Bug's never going to go away. It's going to be like the flu. And hopefully the Winds of Winter will be done after 10 years. But are people going to care? I'm not sure. I think a lot of people were holding out for this year, and I think they're going to be disappointed to hear this. I still plan to host the Hugo Awards and fulfill all the rest of my Toastmastery duties for Worldcon, and have started pre-recording some bits for the ceremony. A wise precaution, since I am hopeless with Zoom and Skype and things like that. But this is a lot less time consuming and distracting than flying to the other end of the world. In between tapings, I return to Westeros. Of late, I have been visiting with Cersei, Asha, Tyrion, Sir Barristan, and Areo Hota. I will be dropping back into Bravos next week. I've had bad days, which get me down, and good days, which lift me up. But all in all, I am pleased with the way things are doing. I do wish this would go faster, of course. Way back in 1999, when I was deep in the writing of A Storm of Swords, his best book, I was averaging about 150 pages of manuscript a month. I fear I shall never recapture this pace again. Looking back, I'm not sure how I did it then. A fever indeed. Anyway, we'll get to this in a second. So, he's writing about Cersei, Asha, Tyrion, Sir Barristan, and Areo Hota, where I am going to get into everything he says, and I'm going to parse every word here. If he is talking about Sir Barristan, he either survived the Battle of Fire, or George R. R. Martin still has a long way to go in this book. I always thought Sir Barristan would be dying. By the way, he's still alive. People who just watched the show, he's still very much alive. He didn't mention Daenerys. He didn't mention Jon. Of course, that's probably on purpose. He didn't mention Stannis. But I am a little discouraged about this. Considering what he says later on about returning to Braavos and where he is with Arya, I think this tells us that he's only about halfway through the book. Only about halfway through the book, which means it ain't coming out next year either. Think about it. 9 years. 9 years. And I was on the guy's side for many years. I was firmly on the side of George isn't your bitch, leave him alone. 5 or 6 years was fine. After it hit 6, 7 years, I was like, okay, enough. You owe the fans. This is a contract that you signed. All right. You took all that money. You took all the money from the publisher. You're buying railroads and Robbie the Robots and movie theaters. And that's great. That's awesome. And he made Meow Wolf. And that's great. You owe the fans this book. And listen, there's still 2 books to go. How in the hell is he going to finish in another 10 years? I hope he lives to 130. You know, his writing style is his writing style, and that's fine, but it's the interruptions in between that I think fans we can question whatever the hell we want. We're fans. So I'm going to skip down to where, all right. So he mentions everything he's been doing in between writing, a Stephen King book and and he bought a railroad. Yes, he bought 3/4 of a railroad or something like that. There are other things going on with my life as well. I bought a railroad. Well, I bought 1/3 of a railroad. See the post below. Is that something you want to brag about right now? Honestly, Hollywood has slowed to a crawl thanks to the beer bug, but the House of the Dragon is still flying along wonderfully thanks to Ryan Condell and his writers and the tireless Tim Mickle. With my producer hat on, I am still involved in trying to bring Nnedi Okofor's brilliant Who Fears Death to the small screen, and I want to relaunch some wild cards, blah, blah, blah. We have a feature film in development adapted from my stories, Sand Kings and the Ice Dragon and the Lost Lands. Television shows in development based on works by Roger Zelazny. If it's the Zelazny, I always get that wrong. Roger Zelazny. I hope it's the 9 Princes of Amber. That would be cool. And Tony Hillerman. There are well, it probably woke as hell. Never mind. The secret shorts that we're doing that. Well, no, if I spilled that, it wouldn't be a secret. George, we just want to hear your Winds of Winter stuff. But up here on the mountain, all of that seems very distant, and much of it has shuddered to a halt in any case until the beer bug goes away. Mostly, it's just me in Westeros with an occasional side trip to other places in the pages of a great book. Now you will have to excuse me. Arya is calling, and I think she means to kill someone. So he's going back to Braavos. Arya's still in Braavos, and she needs to kill someone. So either Arya is going to stay in Braavos for the entirety of the Winds of Winter, which is possible, which would make more sense because she needs a lot more development and training before we believe she can go and wipe out an entire house full of men. But I'm thinking he's only halfway through the book. I hope I'm wrong. We're not getting it this year, folks. Winter is not coming. So there it is. I still love George R. Martin. I still think he's one of the best writers out there. I love his story. I love the lore of A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm currently doing something on my Patreon that is tons of fun. It's a blast. I'm doing some Tyrion prediction stuff, which will eventually make it onto Nerdrotic Live. I would love to tell you this book is coming out this year, but it's just not. And that sucks. And honestly, you got to rethink. I'm not buying anything from this guy until he delivers the Winds of Winter. And then that will be the only thing I buy until he delivers A Dream for Spring, which I just don't think is coming out. I don't think anyone else can write. And I don't think we're going to get I think we're going to get Wheel of Timed with this one, folks. Sorry to say. That's something I might make a video on later. Again, I have a lot of stuff to go over, but this was the good news and bad news I wanted to talk about. Stuff is going to get much, much darker. We do have good news to talk about, and that's probably what I'll I'll end with is the Keaton stuff, because that's pretty freaking cool. But it goes against what is coming to AT&T, and that will be our next subject, and I will get to you guys in just a second. But I do want to talk about, let's go to Disney Star Wars is dumb. And this is directly related to the DCEU, which has been getting a lot of goodwill. I mean, everything I've heard from one section of it, I've been pretty excited about. No, I'm not happy about them taking Gone with the Wind off of HBO Max. I'm okay with the disclaimer. I don't care about that, but pulling it off, I think, and bending the knee, I understand why they felt like they had to do it. I just wasn't happy with it, and that, along with some other things, caused me to unsubscribe from HBO Max. I will resubscribe when the Snyder Cut stuff comes back. And we've heard some positive stuff. We've actually heard that they want to listen to fans, and we've heard something from Jon Favreau saying something similar, and that is great. But that is absolutely directly opposite of everything we've heard from Bad Robot. And Bad Robot has taken off its mask. I know everyone thinks, not everyone, but I know a lot of people think that JJ Abrams isn't the true architect of what happened to Disney Star Wars. I would say he's one of the major architects. Of course, Kathleen Kennedy is the architect, the main architect of the destruction of Disney Star Wars. She had a lot of creative help, and I'm using air quotes on that, from JJ Abrams. Rian Johnson was nothing but a little soldier. That's all he was. Now, he helped destroy Star Wars, but that was at the behest of Kathleen Kennedy. He did everything she wanted. And he wrote the script. He thought she wanted to read and see out of Star Wars, and that's exactly why she signed off on the first draft. Okay? So, but who laid the foundation? JJ Abrams. JJ Abrams laid the foundation. And where did those identity politics come from? Well, they go hand in hand with Kathleen Kennedy's identity politics. So what are we seeing from Bad Robot? Literal propaganda. Whew, and this one, yeah. All right. We'll read it for ourselves here. Bad Robot wants to dismantle JJ Abrams. Hypocrisy incarnate. And I couldn't agree more. And I've said this from the beginning. Now we're going to read some things. Of course, I have to make some obvious statements to preface this. What I'm talking about here has nothing to do with George Floyd. All right, and the wrongful murder of George Floyd. That narrative has gone. Is completely gone, and now that was co-opted by organizations, and it's like his name has become a memory now, and it's too bad, because I think there was a real problem there, and some real change could have come, but unfortunately it got co-opted, just like Occupy did, just like everything else, and it's all about a narrative, folks. Bad Robot, the company that produced The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker, recently tweeted out the following absurd virtue signal. I read that in total agreement with Ichibaka. By the way, this is Ichibaka's blog. Give him a follow on Twitter. He's a good dude. He's one of the scribes of the Fandom Menace, along with Data Racer and the author Stephen Walton. And these are people I listen to, you know. At Bad Robot, we are committed to dismantling white supremacy at work and at large. We are following leading academics, activists, and artists, and have compiled an evolving set of resources that we are sharing with friends and colleagues. Onward! I'm sure Jeremy's going to love to hear that. Onward and upward, Jeremy. Well, let's take a look at this. That is propaganda. Now, I'm going to state the obvious because I have to, unfortunately, on YouTube, and I'm not stating this for you smart and beautiful people in the chat. I am not for white supremacy. I am very much against white supremacy in every single way where it actually exists. But what they're talking about, I'm not entirely sure. But they have a brochure that will tell us everything. Now, Ichibaka didn't display the entire brochure. I would love to see it. If anybody gets a copy of it, please send it to me, Gary@nerdrotic.com. But let's just take a look. But that is propaganda art. It is a robot fist in the air. We are in clown world, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know where this inspires unity at all. I honestly don't think it does. I think JJ Abrams and the lot in Hollywood who are currently canceling the hell out of each other have fostered a lot of division in this country, along with the access media and the mainstream media. They have certainly played their part in what's going on right now. Damon Lindelof comes from JJ Abrams. Alex Kurtzman comes from JJ Abrams. Peas in a little pod. This is an actual document produced by Bad Robot and presumably not satire. Bad Robot's Guide to Dismantling. I don't even want to say it. God dang, it's probably got this thing ghosted already. We'll call it WS at Work. Welcome. Oh, I'm going to have to say it. Screw it. Too late now. Okay. Bad Robot's Guide to Dismantling White Supremacy at Work. Welcome. At Bad Robot, we are committed as storytellers and executives to dismantling white supremacy at work and at large. Well, is there a lot of white supremacy at Bad Robot? Maybe there is. I mean, I don't work there, so maybe they're confessing. I don't know. With the ever-evolving and far from complete guide, and believe me, it's not complete, we hope to share some resources to explore and navigate this time for ourselves and with each other as we strive to do the delicate, raw, humbling, and enraging work of anti-racism. In community, the Good Robot Team. Asterisk, by the way. I could barely read this, so bear with me. We have provided attribution to our sources throughout the guide and thank the activists and scholars who have endeavored to consolidate this information by providing them with some links. This guide draws from our network's research, recommendations, and the anti-racism resources for white people. This doesn't read like re-education at all. And of course, I mean, they're blasting the white supremacy, so it automatically puts anybody who is white on defensive. I'm not a white supremacist. What are you kidding? Okay, we're, this is. You can't even speak freely about it. How ridiculous this is. Am I saying there isn't any racism? Of course there's racism. Of course. Is there white supremacy throughout Hollywood? Well, there's a supremacy of sorts through elitists, of course. Very, very rich people on high in their ivory towers. Sorry, it's a bad probably analogy there. Looking down at us plebs and telling us how they're going to change things and acting like they're ahead of the curve. Here's a table. Here's a table of contents. Perhaps these brainiacs ought to add the word glossary to their vocabulary. Table of contents. If you have 5 to 10 minutes, page 4. If you have 30 minutes, page 9. If you have 60 minutes, page 10. If you have little ones in your life, page 13. If you are a manager, page 14. How to help, page 18. Anti-racist vocabulary. Page 19. What is white supremacy? Page 19. What is white privilege? Page 19. What is systematic racism? Page 19. What is anti-racism? Page 19. What does it mean to be an anti-racist? Page 19. That must be a huge friggin' page. Or maybe they just say, what is white supremacy? You. What is white privilege? You. What is implicit bias? You. That's what I'm guessing. I can answer all these questions. What is privilege? Jar Jar Abrams. What is implicit bias? Jar Jar Abrams. What is systematic bias? Jar Jar Abrams. What is sowing the seeds of division? Jar Jar Abrams. What is anti-blackness? Page 12. We are going so backwards. Listen. What is Black Lives Matter? Page 20, which I'm sure is a direct link to the political organization, not the statement. Okay, which are two different things. We know that. This is what's coming to the DCEU. This is what's coming to what was a fandom, and I'm talking fandom overall, which was about as united as it could get. I loved what I saw at a Comic-Con post 1999. I saw more women coming to Comic-Con, and there's always been a good mix of folks coming to Comic-Con as long as I can remember, and I've been going since I was a wee little lad. When did the division start? When corporate America started getting involved, when Hollywood started getting involved, that's when the division started. No accident there. Most of it consists of links to worthless fringe left articles filled with the kind of garbage knowledge that they feed kids at university. But this is particularly interesting. Acknowledge history. What's happening isn't just about a recent eruption of police brutality. As a country, we are grappling with the result of hundreds of years of systematic racism and state-sanctioned violence against Black people. The uprisings that have been happening and will continue to occur in response to these systematic injustices are part of a long lineage of resistance. Again, I'm not saying there isn't problems in this country that we most definitely need to work on. You know what? There's people within the fandom menace who have talked about this openly and, in my opinion, in the most unifying way. So a lot of those members can be found. Go check out their channels. They're great. This is not the way to go about it, in my humble opinion, but and those are the words again of the great Ichibaka, and I don't disagree with them. No, we are not, as a country, grappling with the result of hundreds of years of systematic racism at a state-sanctioned violence against Black people. Rather, we are grappling with instead hundreds of years of systematic racism and state-sanctioned violence against Black people from the Democratic Party, and that's what he says. I'm going to say from the state, and he goes in. I'm going to read his words here. I'm going to represent Ichibaka properly here. So, not as a country. You can read all about that here. And yes, that fully takes into account the Great Southern Strategy switcheroo myth. And you could go to his website and check it out. But let's go ahead with acknowledging history anyway. JJ Abrams' history, the white guy who demands an end to white comfort from the comfort of his own Palisades mansion, which is worth $7 million, I believe. The guy who boldly stated to Metro, "Have you been doing more at Bad Robot to help solve this issue?" Very much so. To see that women and people of color have been so systematically marginalized in the process of just being considered for jobs, let alone the hiring process. Many times they wouldn't even been on the list for potential hiring. He would have been honest if he would have said many times they wouldn't have been on our list for potential hiring. You see how these people work, right? They are trying to jump in front of something. This whole statement isn't about unifying anybody or solving any problems. This entire thing is, please don't come and burn down my house. Please don't come after us. Please don't cancel us. That's all this is, and I'm sure every intelligent person out there can see that. This is the Jar Jar Abrams I have been talking about from the beginning. I see through his bullshit. I know you see through his bullshit. Comes off with this nice, genuine guy. He's a people person. How did somebody with so little talent get so much power in Hollywood? I don't know. And I fear for the DCEU because he's going to bring his brand of divisiveness into a pretty united fandom right now as far as the Snyder Cut is concerned and cut it into two. And let's not forget, and yet he wasn't the change he wanted to see. He never stepped aside from The Rise of Skywalker to let a woman of color replace his own white ass. After all, Jar Jar Abrams is the white guy who made his leading black actor a mop-wielding janitor, a throwback to tokenism and I don't even want to say that. We'll just say tokenism. Fear my mop. JJ Abrams is the white guy that put out a poster to appease the racist communists in China. That is a fact. That is a fact. It's right there. So, do you think this might have something to do with this? I think it has everything to do with it. I won't apologize for accusing every single person in Hollywood of not being very genuine, we'll just say. So, Bad Robot. If you really want to fight white supremacy, then you need to start cleaning out your own house first and fire Jar Jar Abrams. Let's be ultra crystal clear on this fact. And this is from Jar Jar Abrams' Twitter account. JJ Abrams telling his all-white crew how to dismantle white supremacy on screen. Oh, these people are they're so full of shit. So full of shit. I've been saying this since this channel started, folks. They're acting like we make these decisions. Like we have been casting people. We have been writing the stories. We have been planning the series. We have been doing the marketing. And of late, because Marvel was very successful with this, with Black Panther, and it also had to coincide with a movie that a lot of people liked. How many people genuinely like Black Panther? I don't know. I thought it was a decent Marvel movie that I could watch once, and I haven't watched it again. I feel the same way about Black Panther as I do The Wasp and Ant-Man, and I know it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it was really Wasp and Ant-Man. And Dark World, they were okay movies that I don't ever need to see again. Was it groundbreaking? It might have been to some people, and that's great. But Marvel's marketing was it was perfect on that one. Absolutely perfect. And then they tried it again with Captain Marvel, and it worked. It worked with a crappy-ass movie. So other people see this, but the fact remains that Wonder Woman did a little bit of this marketing too, but it happened to be a movie that, again, a lot of people liked. I feel the same way. I think it's better than Black Panther. I think it's a better film than Black Panther, but not much better. I do own that one, but I own every DC movie. And I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think Gal Gadot, but it's all in the marketing. It's all in this superficial BS. And for those of us who call it out, well, I don't know, man. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do that. I really don't. I'm going to check and see if we're ghosted, by the way. The last one was... Oh, whoops. Hang on a second. I'm sure that... Well, all right, good. Good. And welcome again, everybody. And listen, I didn't get in this to talk about this, but as I said on the live stream yesterday, we're gonna have to dig our heels in. It's 2015 through 2017 have been rebooted, and they are rising again, and it's almost back to square one. The good news is the sentiment of the customer, of the fan, hasn't changed. So we're going to get more of this stuff, and it's going to get the same results as it did last year. So where do we go from there? That's the question, is do we just give up? I don't know. I'm there with the comic book industry, and we'll get into that in a minute. When I say cancel the comic book industry, I am canceling the modern comic industry, the Marvel and DC. I was still occasionally buying new stuff. No more. Not until things change. Now, AT&T might change things by ending them. We'll have to see about that. We will have to see about that. Okay, Brian Lewandowski for $10. Do you think the others will have smaller parts since we barely see them? How will Arya, was it Arya? Arc in Bravos conclude? Who did she kill according to George? Well, I don't know, Brian. She was going to kill somebody, and it looks like she was about to kill somebody in the Mercy chapter. No, the others will play a big part at the end of the Winds of Winter. I don't know if they'll be in A Dream of Spring. Honestly, I think it's going to end similar to the show. The show showed you the actual ending, but we're not going to see the path up to that. So we're going to see more brand training. The others are going to come in. They're going to come in right after the battle on ice, where Stannis and Ramsay are going to fight each other, and then the Army of the Dead will get a few more soldiers, and they'll take on from there. But I don't think Jon Snow is going to ever meet Daenerys and be... I don't think there's going to be boat sex. I don't think they're getting together. I think they're going to fight each other. They might fight with each other briefly, but then they're going to go right back to fighting each other. So I do believe Jon Snow is going to kill Daenerys at the end. Yes, I think it's going to end like that. Mr. Insanity, thank you for the 99 cents of the Phallic Unicorn. Rich Suddy, welcome to the proto-molecule level of membership. I appreciate that. Steve Carter for £2. Hail all and hail to you. Nicholas Horton for £2. Winds of Winter delayed again. Bad George. Yes, it is delayed. Winter is not coming. Talk nerdy to me, Gary. Hail and positive vibes. Canceled Venom. Well, I went from positive to dark right afterwards, but there's a lot of dark stuff going on right now, and I can't not talk about it. So now the thing is, we need to talk about it, and if we continue to talk about it, we will work our way through it, and hopefully find some understanding, because we were making progress. Elliot Nelson, thank you for the Phallic Unicorn for $1.49. Couch Doodles, what's up? Fragga boom. It says Black Flag on Indiegogo closes tonight at midnight. Yes, and I will pop it up on the live stream before I go. Dan, we'll get you on soon. Scottish Nerd for $1.49. Thank you for the Phallic Unicorn. And OK Gare MT Bear, thank you for the Phallic Unicorn at $1.49. Trek God 79 for $20. Hail Nerdrotic. So I have a lot of catching up to do. The Super Chat Square Up from Friday Night Tights has been recorded. It'll be out tonight or tomorrow morning. But that is finished. Trent M for $1.99. Douglas Adams was a procrastinator too. He was, but he finished stuff. He actually, he did. He wasn't as bad as George. Well, maybe he was. If you think about how short his books were, maybe he was. Kevin Willis for $20. Gary, just wanted to pimp a movie site I'm tangentially involved in. Last Movie Outpost. Also got a YouTube channel, 24 subscribers. Search for Last Movie Outpost on YouTube. Love you, Gary. You rock. You rock too, Kevin Wills. So search Last Movie Outpost. He's only got 24 subs. Maybe we can get that up to like 100 or something like that. And yeah, we're going to have to entertain ourselves. We've been doing it just great for the last 3 or 4 months, and maybe we'll just have to continue doing that. I have been watching live streams. I don't miss movies at all, especially crap from Bad Robot at all. Necromancer, Ex Mortis, a new member at the proto-molecule level. Welcome and thank you. 20-watt studio or 200-watt studio for $2. Do you think Expanse 9 will come out before the Winds of Winter? Yes. I do. Kevin Willis, welcome to the proto-molecule level. Bold Boar for $30. Am celebrating. I can finally super chat again, so it's time to donate to Gary's. Oh my God, I gotta move this room fund. Oh yeah, I do have to move this room. Bold Boar, thank you for the $30. I have to get past dusting the room. I have to dust it. It's that time of year again. Chris Hatfield for $4.99. Thanks, Gary, for all the hard work you do keeping us entertained. Nerdrotic is the one of the best channels on YouTube. Keep up the good work. That's so weird saying that. Thank you for saying that. I try. SD, how do I say this? Spda, SPDA 242 for 59 Swedish krona. Received John Byrne She-Hulk 1 through 8. Moon Knight 2006 1 through 6 today from My Comic Shop. Recommend Farscape comic. I think you mentioned it the other day. Yeah, they're good. I am a big fan of TV show adaptation comic books. I know it's kind of a fringe thing to be into, but I love them. Love them to death. And Farscapes are good. I think they're good. Man of War 665, welcome to the Jaloja level. Thank you. Scottish Nerd for £5. Gary, I have always thought that Stannis would win at Winterfell and then come a cropper against the army of the dead. Phallic Unicorn. Yes, Stannis is going to win the Battle of Ice because it looks like he's going to get wiped out, and that's what George does. He went chapter after chapter, told you how screwed Stannis was. I mean, his soldiers were eating each other. I mean, they were resorting to cannibalism, and they were running out of horses. They had nowhere to go. They fished out an entire ice lake, but there's a bunch of holes in that ice now. And they're going to draw the other army over the ice, and they're going to fall in the holes, and that's going to make more dead bodies for the others. And that's going to set up the great battle. Jon will be dead on ice and in an ice cell for probably much of the book, and I believe he will be resurrected by Lady Stoneheart, not by Melisandre. I think she is going to die. Ulf Gimmer for 100 Czechoslovakian pesos. Hail, Gary. I watched some Tim Pool, and he seems to have gotten a lot darker recently. Is it really as bad as he describes? Oh, thank you for the content you produce. For those of you out of the country, I will recommend I'm going to mispronounce his name, so I apologize. Sticks Sexenhammer, the guy with the long hair, put out a video. I think it was from yesterday, giving everyone perspective on what's going on. Yes, there is some very serious stuff going on. But if you look at the absolute numbers, all you have to do is look at it just like you look at the beer bug. Look at the overall numbers. There's 331 million people in this country. The amount of people that were protesting at its peak might have been 1 million people. Might. I don't think so, but it might have been 1 million people. Let's be generous, even if it was 2 million people. Of those 2 million people, and I'm talking about protesters, and everything else. That's everybody. So out of those 2 million people, a lot of them were just peaceful protesters who wanted to go out, do something. They were on lockdown, or they felt like there was an absolute injustice, which there was, that needed to be protest. And a lot of them did it the right way. They went to precincts and they peacefully protested in front of the precincts. They yelled in their little megaphones and carried their signs and did what Americans do. And that's good. That is separate from the people who destroyed people's lives, literally, with businesses and murder and all that stuff, and other people who took advantage of the situation. That is a much smaller number out of that 2 million. We're talking hundreds of thousands. We're talking not even 1% at this point. So now the one thing that is bad is the police have lost confidence. And so we're seeing a little more we're seeing petty crime rise. We're around here. The best example I can give is, firecrackers and fireworks are illegal in California. It doesn't mean people don't light them off. And, around the 4th of July, San Francisco starts celebrating the 4th of July in June. They love to, fire off fireworks, but there have been it sounds like ordnance, man. It sounds like bombs going off consistently all through the night. And that didn't happen before. They would stop at like midnight. No, it's 3, 4 in the morning. These things that sound like dynamite are going off right near my house. They're freaking my dog out. I'm going to have to do something with my dog. I might have to take my dog down south and have my father-in-law look after her because she's an absolute nervous wreck. She's beside herself right now. I'm getting genuinely worried about. She's my big chocolate lab. Her name is Parker. She's a sweet dog. She hates fireworks, and she's currently in the bathtub because she's so scared right now because a firework went off about an hour ago. So that stuff is rising. That's the problem. That's where it breaks down a little bit. But am I afraid to go outside and go on my run? No. Are people shopping? Yes. Are people going to work? Yes. More stuff is opening up. So Tim Pool has always been a little dark because I think he watches too much news, but I like him. I watch all of his videos. I think he's a great YouTuber. Sometimes maybe he should just take a break. I don't know. But it's not as bad as the mainstream media will make it out to be. Is it paradise? No. But yeah, I don't mean to get in too much in that real world stuff. And that's why, but I don't watch the mainstream media at all. I go on Twitter for a little bit. I go to Tim Pool. There's people on YouTube that I trust. There's some people who just put out raw data without any opinion. And you got to find, they're out there. And usually it's a guy with like 100 subs, up and coming channels, as I like to call them. Have you heard Mike from MST Riff Tracks got a canceling because he was friend / did a podcast with Doug Tenaple? I did. Who's an istophobe. He apologized and made some donation, but it seems like he may have lost money. Yeah, you know what? No good. Once you're canceled, you're canceled. It doesn't matter how much apologizing you do. As far as Doug Tenaple is concerned, thank you for the 10 Canadian pesos. I have heard what his views are when it comes to the alphabet community. I don't know I have heard what people said they are. I haven't heard what he said though. And honestly, everybody they're allowed their views. I don't want to misrepresent them. What I heard was he was against the political arm of the alphabet community. I don't know if he's against them altogether. I am not against the alphabet community at all. But is there a political wing of that community? Yes. Just like there's political wings of every community. Yeah. So I don't, maybe I'll go and do my research. I'll find out exactly what he said and I'll give you my opinion on it. Not that that's necessary or anything. But yeah, I'm not surprised that guy got canceled at all. Mike from, MST3K, by the way, and Riff Tracks. There's a great Riff Tracks out there. There's a couple Doctor Who Riff Tracks out there that are really good. Yeah, Doug Tenaple is he did Earthworm Jim. And that was a very successful crowdfunding campaign. It was not without its drama, we'll say. Picard sucks for $1.99. John Williams versus Jerry Goldsmith. Why would you do that to me? Picard sucks. They're both great. Are you asking me who's better? Yeah, probably John Williams. I'd have to give the edge to John Williams, but it's not much. They're both geniuses. Max P123 ABC for £4.99. Hi, Gary. GRRM said he will write The Winds of Winter, then a prequel, then a history book, then a Dream of Spring. Such a shame he won't finish. Could have been the best story ever. It could have been. That's what he originally said. The plans, I believe, have changed, Max. I don't think he's going to... I tell you what, people will not accept another history book. If he does the Targaryen book, he can write those faster, but his last Targaryen book wasn't good. It wasn't good. That's why I'm worried. I think those plans have changed a little bit, though. I think he's going to get right back into Westeros. He'll probably take a little break, but no, it doesn't look like it's going to finish. And that's probably what's going to be my video. I got to work that out of my head. Because once I completely accept that, it's like, do I even continue with the stuff I'm doing? I don't know. Here in the steadfast for 10 Canadian pesos, Hollywood really needs to learn to shut the F up, but they never will. And it will be their undoing. It will be their undoing. I am just checking. Still up. That's good. There's been a problem with the Nerdrotic Nooner. Haven't had this problem with the Inquisition or Friday Night Tights. Only with this show. Not sure why. Vincent Keith for $5. F Bad Robot, F Naughty Dog. Yep. Bad Robot and Naughty Dog are the same. JJ Abrams is the architect of a lot of the divisive stuff that's going on in Hollywood, and they do it under the guise of inclusivity and diversity, and it couldn't be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, some of their approaches are more listen, I've worked down there, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's the most and phobe place I've ever worked, including the auto industry, which is the last bastion of toxic masculinity. But I don't know how they're going to be able to write anything good anymore, because they will be so restricted, and it will be propaganda. I mean, straight up, they used a propaganda symbol on that. The mask is off. They've come out. They're not making a secret of it anymore. It's the influence industry. It's no longer the entertainment industry. And if you have wrong think, you will be canceled. And even if you have right think, you better have it exactly. You better dot every I and cross every T, or you will be canceled. I don't know how Jimmy Kimmel survives. Like I said in my video, I hope he doesn't get canceled. And Roseanne should have her job back. But we know it won't work out like that. Peter Ford for $4.99. Jar Jar could have done this by making Finn co-heir to the Jedi Order. So this is too damn late for me. Yep. Finn was the most interesting character. And look at how they did him. So you know they know that. If you know that, Peter, and I know that, and everybody in this chat knows that and has known it for a long, long time, why do you think they scrambled to put that out? And guess what? Still won't save them. If somebody decides to go after it, I mean, all it takes is a guy or gal on Twitter with 3 followers and an anime avatar these days. Ask Warren Ellis, and we will get to that. We will get to Angry Joe, Warren Ellis, and all that stuff. Like I said, I got to motor through this, though. Jar Jar's new name, Bad Agitation Propaganda, or BAP. Drake is 6. I agree with that for $2. Absolutely. Dianetics, page 21, 200 watt studio for $2. Yes. Ryan DeLucci, welcome to the Jaloja level. Welcome. Marxist activism is 100% intended to divide. System revolt for $1.99. It is. And I can't tiptoe around that crap anymore. I've been trying to, because I don't want to get political, but what am I supposed to do? I can't not talk about what's going on. I am I don't know. I'm for liberty. I don't label myself politically. I am a centrist. I'm for liberty. I like anybody out there. If you have a talent and it makes you millions of dollars, good. Get your cheddar. All for it. But I don't need a government legislating anything other than where I don't know how fast. I don't even like a government legislating how fast I can go in a car, to be honest with you. I need my governments to build my roads and keep my street lights on, keep the water going. That's about it. But we know what this activism is for. I mean, there's going to be people like JJ Abrams came out and they came out and they talked about no more white comfort. Comfort. I'm not talking about white comfort. What that really means is no more middle class comfort. That's what it really means. But middle class comfort is required for Bad Robot to exist. So this is how disingenuous, because JJ Abrams isn't that dumb. So he knows there needs to be a healthy middle class to afford luxury items like $50 trips to the movie for two people to go see a bad JJ Abrams movie or to go buy some bad Star Wars toys. It requires comfort. Coming from the guy that changed Finn from becoming a Jedi in The Force Awakens, all advertising showed Finn beforehand. Snell World for $5. Yes. Oh, yeah. See our pamphlet? Please don't burn us down. JJ Abrams says peppermint oil capsule for £2. Zelina SW for $1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. Culture Casino. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. I appreciate it. Cato W. Gustavsson for 100 Norwegian krona. The re-education we're getting through our cultural institution states really... let me restart that again. I got to change the cadence on that. The re-education we're getting through our cultural institution tastes really bitter. Do you have any hope for things will change? Yes, I do. This cannot succeed in our current system. They can't break down our current system. This was their best effort in my lifetime, and it didn't work. The chode is falling apart. The rioting and looting has died down. The protesting has died down. They're now just pulling down statues, which is just stupid symbolism. But everything, and that's people on the fringe trying to keep it out there, by the way. This stuff is dying down. And all that happened was they ensured that the Second Amendment isn't going anywhere. And as people start going to work more, I think this will die down. Will it ramp up again around the election? Bet your ass. And we need to be ready for it. But yeah, we can win. Absolutely. Because there's more of us, Cato. There's more of us. The majority is the people in the middle. Common sense of all makes, shapes, and sizes. Of all persuasions. And a lot of us have been sitting back and watch and listen. We kind of need to let it play out. And the longer it goes, the dumber it looks. I mean, it sucks that some people got hurt in the chode. But a 19-year-old died on Father's Day. Great. Awesome for your movement. I'm sure that dad loves that present. And they didn't let the cops in. They didn't let the ambulance in. And it probably cost a 19-year-old his life who just thought he was probably going to Burning Man, you know? Stupid kid. Christopher Arcella for $2. Hello, Gary. How are things going for you? They are going good. As good as they can. I'm staying positive. We can win this. This is why we need more people making content here on YouTube. I'm on a recruiting drive. We need more people. We need more voices. If you think you want to do it, now's the time. It's a fun hobby. But it's going to get, it's already gotten a lot more serious. A lot of the attention has been on Naughty Dog of late, and good. They are the latest and greatest example of access media and the disconnect with fandom and creatives subverting something for an agenda. Especially if you really love that game. And it's the exact same thing that happened to Doctor Who, but they made it worse by striking down YouTubers. They made it much, much worse. And it's just a matter of time until another organization does this again. CBS made a feeble attempt at this a year ago with me and Mecca and others. And there will be another organization that does it again. Who will that organization be? Maybe Sony. I don't know. Who knows? It hasn't been Disney. To their credit, they did not strike people down. I will give them credit for that. I have not had a single copyright strike or anything from Disney. I've had plenty from Paramount and CBS. I just got one. Just got one again from Paramount. I fight them all and I win. It's no big deal. But it happens a lot and I don't get them from Disney. So, maybe Disney doesn't care and that's good. I hope it stays that way. Or maybe the sentiment is changing. And yes, I will talk about the Star Wars rumors and leaks. But I'm going to have to be honest about them, folks. Thank you, Christopher Arcella, for $2. Man of War 665 for $10. Gary, it's pitiful to see all of this bending of the knee when foresight and common sense are replaced with received opinion. I want to read that again, Man of War, because I love what you said right there, and I jacked it up. Gary, it's pitiful to see all the bending of the knee when foresight and common sense are replaced with received opinion. That's what they are. I don't like saying these terms. That's why you don't see them in the titles of my videos. Again, this isn't a judgment on other YouTubers. I like to save them for when they are appropriate. The SJW NPCs are just receivers of opinions. They're kneelers. And individually, it's part of an epidemic in this country of insecurity, helicopter parenting, over-parenting, daycare. I don't know what it is. Telling your kid they're the bestest ever all the time. Too many parents trying to be buddies with their kids instead of fathers and mothers. Too many broken families. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. You listen, I did my video about dads. I'm sick of seeing bad dads in Hollywood. I think it's a tired trope, but I think it has a lot to do with this. And you know what? You can look back at George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, two of our heroes, for planting the seeds for this. But at least they showed both sides. You know what I mean? At least Steven Spielberg would show a good dad, and he did it a lot of times in his films. And we don't see that anymore. And so we have these little opinion receivers, right? Who are just NPCs out there waiting to become part of something because they feel lost. I don't know what it is, but insecurity has a lot to do with it. And what are we finding out more and more? Those who protest the most end up being the most guilty. Every single time. And the Warren ELLISGATE or ELLISGATE or the Warren Ellising, whatever we want to call it, that has exposed a lot of the hypocrisy that we already knew was there in the comic book industry. And the comic book industry is a microcosm of the entire entertainment industry. So what happens in comics first will happen to entertainment next. Earlier, I received the John Byrne Sensational She-Hulk Omnibus. What a great series. Christopher Arcella for $5. I cannot recommend that enough. It is pure fun. That's all it is. Remember when comics were fun? Does anybody remember laughter? I'm going to mute the microphone and cough. Sorry. My apologies. All right. I'm going to try to get through another article here, folks. And I reserve the right to do videos on all or some of those subjects, which I've already started. By the way, plugging again, the Doctor Who rumor video is next. I don't know how sexy it's going to be, but it will be informational. It will let you know what's going down or what might not be going down with Doctor Who. And it's, well, let me see. Is it good news? Yeah, I think ultimately it's good news. Ultimately, it's good news. On the surface, it won't sound like good news. Changes are coming to Doctor Who, folks. They are a coming. All right, so we did that one. We're going to save that one for last. All right, so let's talk about this. And then we'll get to the Let's Get High Republic. There's a chapter. I'll read a little bit of it. It looks awful. And we'll talk about Doomcock's rumors when we go into the High Republic. But let's go to this real quick, all right? God, I feel like I got something on my ear there. There we go. Sorry to go to my own tweet. I mean, that's kind of cringy. You don't have to see what I tweeted. But, all right. So Az and I talked about this yesterday, in case you didn't watch during the Bags and Boarding live stream. This came across the wire. One thing I do want to show, I do want to toot my own horn a little bit. Just allow me this one time. Okay, I got to go find it. Hang on. Let's go to tweets and replies. How long ago was this? Okay, so a few days ago, Warren Ellis canceled himself. He was accused of grooming. So there's another comic book writer named Cameron Stewart, previous to Warren Ellis, was accused of doing the same thing, but with in a very inappropriate manner, we're going to say. That guy deserved to be canceled. Glad he's gone. And may he go get a lot of therapy and work himself out. Warren Ellis, on the other hand, had a forum, a famous one back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where, he held court. Warren Ellis was a semi-popular comic book writer who had a cult of zealous celebrity around him. And a lot of girls were interested in him. You know what? You're a comic book writer. He's not exactly a looker, but he's got a lot of charisma. He's a smart guy. He had a little forum and did a little flirting. That's all he was doing. As far as I know, unless the story changes, and I, of course, I reserve the right to change my opinion if we find out some information about the age of these girls, shall we say. Okay. But as far as I know, all of these girls were in their 20s. All of these women were in their 20s. They were of age. He was chatting them up. I guess he had some relationships, and that's how the door got opened for them into the comic industry. One of those women was Kelly Sue DeConnick, one of the architects of the destruction of the comic book industry, a less than mediocre writer, I would argue a hack writer, who has gotten a lot of jobs because she is female. If it was Kevin Sue DeConnick, she wouldn't be working in the industry based on the sales of some of her books. But a lot of extra doors were opened for her, in her own words, due to powerful men. Would I call Warren Ellis a powerful man? I would call him a semi-famous comic book writer that if I walked down the street right now, went down to Mission here in San Francisco and walked up to 100 people, there would be a very good chance 100 people wouldn't know who the hell Warren Ellis is. So let's get rid of that argument right now. So Warren Ellis gets canceled. A woman accuses him of grooming. She has a Discord group where she's gotten 35 other women to sit there and talk about Warren Ellis. Warren Ellis might be a love him and leave him kind of guy. Imagine the nightmare of your exes having a Discord and chatting you up. That's seventh layer of hell. You got to watch out for that stuff. But so be it. Warren Ellis canceled himself. Kelly Sue DeConnick, in a move to try to save her image, drove the bus right over her friend of 20 years who opened the door for her and made her famous. And in that forum, she met her husband, Matt Fraction. Yes, they were all sleeping with each other. Your boy Zach was right. The Warren Ellis Forum was the birthplace of SJW Marvel. And now they are scrambling to save their images, and they're driving the bus over their friends who got them their jobs. Wonderful people. Aren't these wonderful people? Cancel the comic book industry. I'm done with this. They're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic and all of a sudden deciding to maybe look into their behavior a little bit. Towards each other, of course, not towards the customer. Fuck, screw the customer. And not a word about a comic shop. And Kelly Sue DeConnick does this cringe 20-minute video where it takes her 1 minute and 13 seconds to say something, and we're going to watch it, but just a little bit. But just to toot my own horn, just a little bit. When this happened, this was June 20th, okay? And I put up a tweet. And the original tweet was, all right, what does it take for the comic book industry to start examining their bad behavior? Multiple shops closing in the last 3 years? Nope. The beer bug? Nope. DC leaving Diamond? Nope. Warren Ellis? Yes. Solution: comic books less dependent on patronage. Kelly Sue DeConnick. Now, patronage has two meanings. I know that. But when you just see it at face value, when you see it in print, it means so much more, because that's what they've gotten. They've gotten comic books with a lot less patronage. Now, Kelly Sue DeConnick meant patronage through a person, all right, through somebody in power. But what ended up being the reality is there's a lot less customers. Both are true. As responds to honk, honk, honk. And this is what I said on the 20th. You can't make this shite up. Here is the new narrative as men destroyed comic books. Well, 2 days later. 2 days later. I wish I could have done this quicker, but I can't. We get this. From Tom King, former CIA operative, agent, and the man who took away Batman's balls. I'm blocked by him currently. Tom King, I pledge to say no to abuse, harassment, grooming, and manipulation of women and all people of marginalized genders/sexes. Are you with us? Take the comics pledge with me. Post this graphic and message in a new tweet. Don't just retweet. This is the final nail in the comic industry coffin. It now will have to be completely scuttled and redone. And that process is going on right now. I am done with the modern comic book industry. Screw Marvel, screw DC until they show me otherwise. But this is their industry right now. These are people trying to save their own ass. These are people saying, please don't cancel me. So they put out a pledge. Okay, let's go over this pledge. Let's go over this pledge, shall we? Adults wrote this, by the way. A human adult wrote this, supposedly with a pair of testicles. Men in comics say no. There are a lot of ideals we claim to honor in comics: hope, justice, unity, innovation, creativity, freedom. None of them mean anything unless men in comics change our behavior. So, okay, a writer wrote this, right? Because it went to our, yeah. Okay, none of them mean anything. None of them mean anything unless men in comics change our behavior and hold each other accountable for the safety of women and all people of marginalized genders and sexes. Okay, so the thing in Warren Ellis's forum had nothing to do with genders at all. It was women flirting, women knowing that they could flirt with Warren, so it might open a door for them. It was mutual. They knew what was going on. They weren't hypnotized by Warren Ellis. These were adults who can decide for themselves. That word agency gets thrown around. So do you get to remove your own agency when it's convenient for you to cancel somebody? No. It might work in the comic industry with the people you hang with. And this is where you're just going to tear yourself apart. So it might be best, folks, to let this happen. We've been fighting it. But like with the chode, if we just kind of let them destroy themselves and just kind of eat some popcorn and watch it happen, we can chronicle it. I think that might be the best approach at this point. Because they just did themselves in. Their entire industry is on fire. Comic shops are closing. Not all of them are making it public. Again, I will repeat. I was in San Diego 2 weeks ago. I went to 4 shops. 3 of them have not opened yet. Their signs were from prior to the beer bug, and San Diego is open for business, and they have not opened. I checked back. They're still not open. Those 3 shops have not made it public. There's a lot of shops that are going to be gone. DC is leaving Diamond, and these idiots know it. So what do they want to do? They want to change the narrative of the destruction of the comic book industry so they can infight a little bit and relieve themselves of responsibility. What happened to, I take responsibility? So Tom King comes out with a pledge, and when you read this stuff, you're going to go, what kind of an industry did you really have? And the fact of the matter is, it probably was that creepy. It probably was. How do you think Heather Antos got a job? Was it her editing skills? I pledge to never abuse, harass, groom, or manipulate women and all people of marginalized genders and sexes. I pledge not to run over dogs. I pledge not to hit anybody. I pledge not to do bad things. I pledge to hold myself accountable for my own actions, to be open to comments and concerns of my peers and educate myself. Oh, that's good. Okay, here you go, Tom. How about you don't write cringeworthy pledges? How about you put Batman's balls back on his body and then leave the comic book industry? I hope you're really open to this. The reason I have a bit of a resentment towards Tom King is I know, considering one of his statements that we're about to get to, he's a rat. He's a snitch. He got a comic shop employee in big trouble during his big fraud, the big fraud of the Batman marriage to Catwoman. Y'all remember that, right? They made it a big event for comic shops. There were going to be fake marriages. There was cosplay. There was wedding invitations. And Catwoman ends up leaving Batman at the altar. And Batman cries. It was the ultimate cucking of Batman. And they knew that was going to happen. And when that information got leaked in a forum, or I think it was a messenger group on Facebook, and the information got out there and people were pissed. Not about the spoiler, about what happened. Screw the spoiler. A lot of comic shops were wishing the spoiler would have got out sooner because they bought hundreds of those issues and they end up drowning in them. And it led to Tom King being removed from Batman. Well, Tom King was having a conversation with a comic shop employee and I guess screen capped some of this conversation or whatever, ratted this person out and the whole message group out, got the comic shop in trouble, got the comic shop employee almost fired. Rat, snitch. So this makes sense. To actively intervene when we see or know of abuse, harassment, grooming, or manipulation. So when you ratted out the female employee at the comic shop, to cover your own ass. What's that? Is that manipulation, Tom? Isn't this whole thing manipulation, Tom? Aren't you being manipulative right now? Because you are. To ally for women and all people of marginalized genders and sexes experiencing abuse, harassment, grooming, or manipulation. How about all of those groups experiencing marginalization from you, Tom? Life isn't fair. Do some people have it better than others? Yes, it's largely economic. But it also has to do with race. Is an individual person marginalized? No, absolutely not. Some people have to fight harder. Some people will have to go through more. Some people will have to endeavor to persevere. And that sucks, and we need to make that better. But we have been. Progress, not perfection. But as an individual marginalized, no, I refuse to do that to a person. I will never see a person like that. They're not a little puppy that needs help. They're human beings. And just this, and it's what they were talking about. And sorry, I forgot who put this in the super chat. They're trying to put us into groups, all right, to divide us, and it's all part of an agenda that this former CIA employee was all part of. I don't want him going back to the CIA. I'd rather have him in comics, to be honest with you. But if you have to say this out loud, I guess you're a creep. When I wake up in the morning, I don't know. Maybe it's my upbringing. Maybe it's because I surround myself with really cool, honest people, but I don't feel like I need to do anything more than I do. I treat women, all people, with respect. Are you not doing this, Tom? I mean, like, where are you spending your nights? Yeah, this reads like, and listen, even blue check marks and women on Twitter were calling this out. Excuse me. To actively call out our friends and peers, even when no one else is watching. That's so what are you doing when nobody else is watching, guys? Here's the truth, folks. This is going to be the first of many. These Me Too things are I guess they're going to flare up once in a while. And the comic industry, there's a lot, especially if flirting is now a transgression, you might as well put all the pencils down at this point. You know what I'm saying? Figuratively and literally put the pencils down. To commit to this pledge for the long haul and keep the conversation alive in the industry. Oh, so, okay, according to Tom, I should treat women with respect and I should commit to it. Oh, thank you, Tom. You're so stunning. You're so brave for stating the obvious. Oh, wait, there's an asterisk. We understand marginalized genders and sexes to include but not be limited to non-binary and binary trans people, two-spirit, agender, and gender fluid, or agender, agender, and gender fluid people, as well as intersex people of any gender. And don't forget super intelligent shades of the color blue. I don't even know what two-spirit is, and I don't care. I know The Spirit is a great comic. Is a great graphic novel. Never abuse, harass, groom, or manipulate women. The funny thing is, this probably applies to some of the editorial staff at Marvel right now. I'm guessing. It's just my opinion. I don't know. I can't tell you how cringeworthy this is. It's being called out, thank God. And it's happening while the Titanic is sinking. And it started a conversation, folks. It started a conversation that's brought a lot of unintended, really good quotes. Let's go to some of them. Like, here's another one. Here's another one. So there was an article written. It's too long. I'm not going to read it here. And it's called On Finding Out Your Heroes Are Monsters, or Detoxifying a Culture. So they're actually looking inward now. The comic industry is looking inward and realizing they're the toxic ones, and they have been the toxic ones, but it's towards each other. Nobody has even approached treating the fan with respect. I don't know how you recover from this, but you get these brilliant quotes. But we have to also acknowledge that none of this can happen quickly or cleanly. The Titanic can't turn on a dime, and reshaping an industry that is already beset with changing chaos is a daunting task under even the best of circumstances. The Titanic can't turn on a dime. That is some unintended honesty that you need to make a t-shirt. That diamond, there is your new hashtag. Diamond Comics. The Titanic can't turn on a dime. Back the comeback. The Titanic can't turn on a dime, but the bitch is still sinking. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Az was pissed. At this point, I've accepted it. I don't call for boycotts. I'm not going to tell you what to do individually with your money. I am going to tell you what I'm going to do. If I buy any Marvel or DC product, this goes for Image. This goes for any mainstream comic book right now. I'm not going to buy anything new. And this sucks. This hurts shops. But I don't know how else to change this. The shops had the power. They still somewhat have the power to make this change quick. And instead they're bitching about UPS drivers, and they're not talking about the customers yet. So we need to get the shops to start acknowledging that the customers are what is needed here, and you are whittling away at your industry every time there is something like this. Every time a creative pops off to a customer, or there's a stoppage in the workflow, or every time Marvel comes out with 27 more variants for their comics, every time they're late with the book, every time they're aloof with their partners, every time Diamond doesn't say anything, every time the comic shops don't say anything, it whittles away at your industry. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. And we just went through a period where and this will never be repeated, superheroes were never going to be as popular as they were over the last 10 years. That was your moment, and it is gone. So that was the one moment the industry had over the period of 10 years to make themselves bigger than ever, and they failed at it utterly. They couldn't have planned at failing any better. Marvel and DC's predatory practices, Diamond being the monopoly, comic shops unwilling to change, unwilling to get out of their comfort zone and innovate at all. There might have been some minor innovations, but nothing overall for the industry. Publishers just sitting on their ass and doing the same thing over and over again for 10 years. And then we had the culture wars, and we had the creatives attacking fans over and over again. Shit, they're doing it today. And now they're trying to get out of it by saying, and now they're acknowledging that they were a bunch of toxic assholes towards each other, not towards the fan. Too fucking late. Too little, too late. And now they're talking about how we reshape this industry. No, it's it's how you adapt to a contracted industry, because that's all you're going to have. You will come back to less customers. You will come back to less shops. It will not be growing anymore. You had your chance. It's gone. It might be time to think about other careers. because you're going to hear a lot of announcements over the next couple of months. There'll be some BLM comic books here and there. They'll have to be Indiegogo because I don't think DC will be making them, and I don't think Marvel will be making them. Now, Marvel's aloof. I don't know what the hell DC's going to do, or Disney's going to do. But I think DC's and AT&T's decision has already been made. I maintain it has already been made. So I'm not buying anything new. I'm not going to, if I get supplies, if I get stuff, it's going to be secondhand, and that breaks my heart. But that's the only way I can bring change to the industry. If I keep buying stuff and I keep supporting stuff, it's not going to change. Is that going to work? Probably not. But that's the only thing that will really work. Hitting them in the wallet. It's time to cancel the comic industry because they canceled us. They canceled us. They made it loud and clear they don't want us around. We're ists and phobes. It's just like the BBC. It's just like Disney. The BBC's whole attitude towards the Doctor Who fandom is, look at those uneducated plebs. They're just not as enlightened as we are because editorially, I couldn't be happier with Doctor Who right now. Well, it's the same thing with Marvel and DC. Until I see otherwise. Editorially, they're absolutely happy with their agenda. And the customers should either evolve or go away. What did Kelly Sue DeConnick say? If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. And now she's doing this. Hang on, let's get there. We need a little more cringe. Just a little more in our lives. Un momento. All right, Kelly Sue DeConnick warning. Kelly Sue DeConnick warning. I need headphones. Where are my headphones? We're not going to play this whole thing. Don't worry. Oh my. The hell. There we go. Alrighty. Let's make sure that I should have checked this beforehand, but give me a moment. That is done. That is not muted. Okay, here we go. Oops. Wrong side. There we go. Now, this is, apparently she had been taking some heat on Twitter for a while, and she felt like she needed to make a statement because Kelly Sue DeConnick needed to make a public statement, and here it is. Any second now.
Okay.
Here it comes.
I don't know quite where to start. I don't have a prepared anything, and I'm not sure how long this thing will let me talk. So,
remember when you saw the I take responsibility and you saw people like getting in their zone? Yeah. So, I mean, she's a writer, not a content creator. It's not how you're supposed to start a video.
So we're going to go with it.
Okay. Still waiting.
As some of you may know,
No, we don't know. Most people don't know who you are, Kelly Sue DeConnick. You wrote for a single television show and you created a bad version of Carol Danvers. And the only reason you're getting work is because you are female and you know Matt Fraction and Warren Ellis. But let's please watch you drive over the bus. God, I'm so happy that I'm free to say that. There's so many people who know that in the comic book industry and cannot, or feel like they cannot, come out and say it. We need more people to just say stuff like that. She is a passable writer. Does she deserve the accolades that she's getting right now? Hell no. Hell no. There are better writers. There are better female writers out there than her. Yeah, don't worry. We're not going to go. 44 seconds in, by the way.
Have been friends with Warren Ellis for about 20 years. And somebody tells me I have an hour limit. Okay, well, we're not going an hour. So
thank God. But we're going to go a fucking hour if you don't start talking.
So I've been friends with Warren for about 20 years. And it has been a good friendship. I have welcomed his counsel. He has never been untoward to me and has been a consigliere for a long time.
Consigliere, whatever that is.
On Tuesday of this week,
did Warren kill somebody? Did I mean?
It became news that
he must have done something awful.
Were a number of women who were horribly misused by Warren.
Horribly misused by Warren. How? Did they call the police? Did he hurt them physically in any way? Were they of age? I still don't have answers to these questions.
And this is hard, you guys.
Yeah, it is. It's too hard. I can't take it anymore. So, yeah, that's just a piece of what that is. That was 2 minutes and 16. She drives the bus over Warren, like right about here.
But I think it would be premature for me to talk about it at this moment. Even if we can't convince them to do it.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Kelly Sue DeConnick, the woman who said, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. Now she wants to fix the comic book industry. I'll said it before. I'll say it again. The last person on earth I will ask about the actual exchange of money or about business here in the comic book industry, retailing business, is a comic book writer or a comic book artist, especially one from Marvel.
That publisher will say no, but maybe that publisher will say yes, and then maybe you will have a book contract. And it is not easy. I don't know that we can ever make sure it doesn't happen again, but we can make it not as easy. And so that incurs a debt. And so I am trying to figure out what I can do as we move forward.
So she feels like she owes people because she had her fun. She did her flirting in the Warren Ellis forum. She probably did her part of gatekeeping. I took a couple peeks at that forum a long time ago. Somebody who used to, I guess, moderate in that forum, or was, at least she said she did, worked at my store for a little while. So I was well aware of it. I know what it was. And it was, listen, I'm sorry. And I'm not sorry. It was a bunch of catty biatches. It was a bunch of catty bitches, and I mean men and women, in this forum, talking a lot of shit about the comic book industry, talking a lot of shit to each other. A lot of that edgelord humor was going on there. Pretty much everything we're accused of, the ists and the phobe, was going down in that forum, and she got fucking caught. Now she's going to back over her friend of 20 years who helped her get in the fucking industry because of believe all women. No, I'm not going to believe all women or men or anybody. I'm not going to take anything at face value. With are there legit accusations? Yes. If they're serious, go to the police. Do not start them on Twitter. Do not start Discord groups, and whisper networks and shit like that. That shit should be gone. You want to cancel something, cancel whisper networks. They go on, believe me, they go on with YouTube too, okay? And Az talked about this in his video with Angry Joe, and he's not wrong, all right? He's not fucking wrong about like what goes. What I try to do, I try to be as friendly and respectable to people as I can be. I'm a happily married man. I have 2 kids, and I can honestly say I haven't seen anybody try to flirt with me or anything. Now, I am horrible to get a hold of. It's very hard for me to even get through my emails, but I can't say it's happened to me since the YouTube thing started. And it's probably because I'm very communicative about my relationship situation, or I'm just an ugly bastard. I can accept both of them. I'm fine. I'm happily married. But I make it clear every day. And I think if I make that clear, that's fine. But it's okay to flirt. I have flirted with women. I take responsibility. I have flirted with women. In one of those brief periods where I wasn't married, I had a previous marriage. Okay, I was married from 1995 to 2001. We broke up in like 2000, but 2001. And then I got remarried to Mrs. Nerdrotic in 2003. So out of that whole time, I had a very, very short period of singleness that I really didn't take full advantage of at all, to be honest with you. And prior to that, I was a teenager. So I don't know. I'm kind of a serial monogamist, I guess, but monogamist, but I can't even say it, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't know how good I am with this advice, but flirting's okay. Work flirting is okay. I have no problem with this shit. We're adults. We can figure this stuff out. Stop trying to treat all of us like we're 6-year-olds with warning labels on fucking movies, canceling everything. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think another thing, I think it's high time to walk away from some really fucking toxic social media. Really, really fucking toxic social media. I don't know what good Twitter does anymore. There's a lot of good people there, but I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to, I'm not on there very much anyway. But when it relates to the comic book industry, Warren Ellis liked to flirt. Warren Ellis, I knew he was a hotshot comic book writer, helped some women out. I'm guessing those women knew what they were getting into, and now 20 years later, one of them decides to come out against him. Well, if you go to her Twitter, I will direct you to the Bounding into Comics article about it. I won't put it up here. I don't want to put the woman's Twitter on here because it goes to a OnlyFans or fans only. What a coincidence, huh? What a coincidence. So this is what the comic, I don't care about, by the way, this is adult. This is none of my business. This is none of anybody's business. And we're putting this stuff on blast, and Warren Ellis has to, Warren, your entire image went crashing down in a single statement. You were supposed to be the edgy badass with skulls on the background on your fucking shelves, and I wrote the Transmetropolitan, and I'm smarter than most people in comics. You bent the knee so fucking fast. You're just like the rest of them, buddy. Just like the rest of them. Guess you're not that badass after all, are you? Are you? It just goes to show you where the new punk rock is. And by the way, Warren Ellis loved to think he was all about that punk rock attitude, and so does Mark Millar, and so do all these kneelers in the comic book industry. If a woman like this makes an accusation, you do what Angry Joe did. You stand up for yourself. The man was innocent. He feels like he's innocent, and that's all I know right now, unless new information comes to light. I stand with Joe. I don't love everything Joe does, believe me. I think he kind of shilled for Sony, but in this case, I'll back him until I hear otherwise. If we get some new information, we get some new information. But if you're innocent, you stand up for yourself. You don't buckle down and bend the knee. Warren, especially when you're supposed to be the dark man, the badass of comic books. Please. So much for that image, huh? And so much for the comic book industry. And it sucks. And this, I don't want this. He said, she said shit. I don't like talking about it. I don't. It's none of my fucking business. And adults can do what they want. And are there creeps in comics? Absolutely. Should they be called out when they're being creeps? Yes. With evidence. With evidence. Does the comic book industry need HR? Probably always had needed HR, but HR can be misused too. God, thank God I'm not single right now. It'd be fucking hell. Christopher Arcella. Hello, Gary. Oh, I read that one, but hello again. Hello again. IK1906 for $10. If theaters don't return to glory, comics dying, celebrity/cancel culture dying, streaming services spreading out programming, and with more turning to YouTube, how will Hollywood influence people? IK1906, that's a good question. When I said they rebranded from the entertainment industry to the influence industry, I didn't say they were good at it. I didn't say it would work. They are absolutely going to dial up the woke. Everybody is. The comic book industry, the gaming industry, TVs, movies, the woke is going to get dialed up. It was being dialed back into something more unifying, into something more neutral. People were actually opening their ears up and listening to other people and not thinking that just because somebody supports the president, they're a Yahtzee or a phobe or an ist, that they're actually a human being who might have just a different point of view on a few different issues. That's it. But no, it's right back to the vilifying. It's right back to the dividing. And boy, did Bad Robot just jump to the front of the line with their robot fist in the air and their propaganda symbol. And as far as the comic books are concerned, it's falling apart, man. So no, the comics aren't influencing. Entertainment isn't influencing anybody. No, they're just losing people. But you know what? It's also leading to its destruction, which can be very bad too. We need it. And I think, I know there is an attitude out there that, well, if we can't change it and turn it into a bunch of propaganda, we'll just destroy it. Either way, we win. So that's why, it is easy, and I'm to throw your hands up in the air and walk away. I'm not going to walk away. Thank you, IK1906. You're not wrong. They're terrible at influencing people. Why do you think YouTube channels are growing? And again, I'm on a recruiting drive. We need more YouTubers. We need more people talking about this, calling this shit out, because this is the only place it's happening. And I don't know how long it will happen here. We need to take advantage of it now. Now is the time. Get a microphone. You got an internet connection. Fire it up. Louis the Plank for $5. Hail, Gary. Just curious. Who is the green girl in your opening screen? She-Hulk? Gamora? No. That is Cosmic Crater Girl. It is thank you, Louis the Plank, for $5. That is a creation of Melissa, my wife, Mrs. Nerdrotic, and Derek Robertson of Transmetropolitan. And yours truly. It was just it's a well, I mean, this is going to sound bad, but it's a mascot for my comic shop. It was just, this is before all the shit started, and I've got a seriously weird obsession with green girls, and that's my green girl. Now, she's got a whole backstory and everything I'll bore you with some other time. Do you watch Kyle Kalinski's channel? He's amazing. No, I don't. I'll check it out though. Hyde F. Steph for $1.99. I will check it out. Kevin Willis for $5. I enjoyed Fire and Blood. I'd rather have Wins a Winner, but I still really liked it. Make of it what you will. Listening to audiobook again. Yeah, I didn't at all. I thought it was part of and it played into the delay of the Winds of Winter, and that's probably why I had a resentment, but I don't think it's that good. The World of Ice and Fire is much better. That is much, much better. I love that book. Picked up Hellblazer #1, 2019, and gods, I wish I hadn't. Race and gender pandering out the arse between John and the Shadow. My go-tos are now lost. Retro Haft for £5. Yes, do not pick current pick up current Hellblazer, and I'm a huge Hellblazer fan. I love John Constantine. I liked Matt Ryan in the NBC series. If you look back here, I don't know if you can see it. I have them. If I move my mic, you can see him right next to the Eighth Doctor. Right there. There. It sucks. Kevin, I'll probably read Fire and Blood again, though. I'll probably end up reading again. We'll see. I have some decisions to make before I make my George video. Thacio for $2. What do you make of GRRM's yesterday's post on his blog? It was preparing us for Winds of Winter. I'm repeating from the beginning of the podcast. I did talk about it in the beginning of the podcast. He is preparing us for another year. It'll be another year until the Winds of Winter comes out. And I want you to keep this in mind. A Dream of Spring is not coming out. It is not coming out. This will be the last A Song of Ice and Fire book. So do you want to continue and not get a resolution to your story? I'm going to give this a lot of thought. I'm going to I got 3 videos to make. Now my patrons voted, cause I was going to do a video on that statement by Tom King. I got some other information I didn't talk about that I'm going to add to it. Or should I run with the Doctor Who rumors that I've been teasing for 2 months? And they voted for the Doctor Who rumors. So that video is being constructed. I got half of it done before this live stream. I got to give myself an hour for my voice to recover, and then I'll get back on it and hopefully release it tonight. It's not super long, but changes are coming to Doctor Who. And honestly, this is my first real rumor video since the last one I did. And which was when I told y'all that the Doctor would originally be female. And that's a rumor I sat on for almost a year. So it's from the same source. Again, it's a rumor, but defund the internet police. I take responsibility for washing my dirty laundry, says Mark C for $5. Mark, that's good. I take responsibility for taking out the trash. Thacio, yeah, I've got a lot to say about the George R. R. Martin thing, but I'm going to save some of it for a video. Matt Guy for £2. Thanks to you and Az, I started collecting all 90s X-Men. LOL. Yeah, there are enough comic books that have already been printed that you will never get to them in your lifetime. You don't need to buy new books. You can go discover old stuff that is far, far, far superior than anything they write today. I could just go and pull something off the rack. Here. Those are in there too tight. This will be better than anything you read. Anything you read. Look at that art. Uh-oh. Green Lantern is a white supremacist. With a white glove and everything. Yeah. That's so problematic. I blame Ethan Van Sciver. We need indie alternatives to Hollywood and other media. Where do you think this will emerge? Where can indie creatives like me go for a platform? A shadowy sage for $4.99? Right here. Right now, right here. Until things change, this is better than going to Hollywood and pitching a series or a movie. We've already seen this proven with comic books. I think right here, you get a following and if you can prove yourself creatively, that following will back you financially. And we've already seen this proven out with the Indiegogos. Let's go to one right now, just briefly. Okay. I have to admit, I have not backed this. I'm going to, do I have the right one here? I'm going to back it today. No, that's not it. Here we go. This is Dan Fraga. That's not Dan Fraga. Hang on. There we go. Fraga boom. All right. This is where you start. If you are a writer, even if you can't draw, I would start with a graphic novel, not just with the novel, and take your idea to Indiegogo. I would prefer to see people who genuinely love comic books, right, to write comic books, and people who genuinely want to write scripts to write scripts. We need more people who actually love comic books to write comic books. And if you do that, go the Indiegogo route, okay? And this is Dan Fraga's book. It is ending tonight, okay? He's at $159,000. $159,000. And this is a guy who is now blacklisted out of the comic book club, okay? Because of his associations. His associations with people of all shapes and sizes who don't come from a political agenda other than I want to write comic books. It's part of Comicsgate. Do they get a little salty over there? Yep. But as we see, it's actually worse in the actual comic book industry. And it's always been like that, folks. It has. So these people are now free. And so I said to Robert Meyer Burnett, when he unfortunately got fired from his podcast for being canceled, he's fucking free. He can now say whatever the hell he wants on his own platform and watch it grow. Watch it grow. People don't come to content creators to see him hold back. Shit, I hold back too much sometimes. But go check this out. If one of the Nerdrotics could put this link in the description. Look at how fucking good this art is. So I'm going to back. What am I going to back? Oh, that one's good. I can't back that much. I'll probably back the comic and ash can and head sketch one. That's probably the one I'll back. But check it out. It ends tonight. We're going to get him on the show soon. All right. Back to you guys. Back to you, chat. Mark C. Thank you again for the super. Oh, wait. Mark C. I take responsibility for making sure that the toilet seat is down for my girlfriend. Yes. I make sure that the toilet seat is down for my wife. I take responsibility. The best scene in the entire Star Wars sequel trilogy, that's for $5. Thank you, by the way. The best scene in the entire Star Wars sequel trilogy was the shot of the trailer of Finn taking off his stormtrooper helmet. Biggest waste potential for a storyline in a movie history. Matthew Trump, you are right for $9.99. You are not wrong at all. I thought that was exciting, and it was lame. Gerald for $4.99. Hail, Gary. What would happen to your wife if she reopens her salon? Will she get arrested, fined, or just maybe cops will look the other way? I don't know. Here in San Francisco, if she opened it in another place, the cops would probably just look the other way. The cops here, I mean, we got the woke police here, folks. We got the woke police. So, I think they'll look the other way. She'll probably get fined and we'd refuse to pay it. I don't want to get her into trouble. I think she's going to open up anyway. There have been some changes here that the city has not communicated at all. So a lot of people have started just freaking opening. And that's what I recommend everybody do. Just start opening. Practice social distancing. Personally, I wear my mask outside. And I don't wear it often. Like, I don't wear it when I go on my runs anymore. But I'll wear it when I go to a store just so other people will feel better. And I don't want to have some Karen screaming down at me. But other than that, I'm not wearing it. I don't wear it in my fucking car when I'm by myself. Ugh. Cato W. Gustafsson for 20 Norwegian krona. An extra tip for your defiant but hopeful answer. Thank you. My defiant and hopeful answer for is the world falling apart? No, it's not. There are powers that be that want you to think it's falling apart. Is it great right now? No. Can we win this? Easily. We outnumber them. We vastly outnumber them. Thousands to one. So if we actually decided to give off our ass and do something about it and protect businesses, protect statues, and protect human beings too. Listen, you had the majority on your side with the George Floyd thing. We were listening. We were watching that. We were disgusted. We still are disgusted. But, I'm glad they actually charged the guy with something they could convict him with. Because like what we saw in Atlanta, that BS, you're going to start seeing cops walk off the job. And then there's going to be real trouble. Do things need to change? Yes. Do they need to be defunded? No. Well, you know what? I think there's some political organizations that need to be defunded. I think Hollywood needs to be defunded. I think the BBC needs to be defunded. Yeah, I'm good for that. Corona witch in residence. Corona. Carrion witch in residence for 5 Canadian pesos. All I want government to do is make sure I don't get burned at the stake. Yep. I don't know if you're safe from that. It depends on how you look. Samson for $4.99. Sansom for $4.99. We are in a cultural war with the evangelical progressives. TV, movies, games have become nothing but a means of propaganda. Keep fighting, Gary. Yep. And they came out of the closet big time in the last couple days. I can't say yesterday. I think it was before yesterday, but I got to look at it again. It's unreal. Like, you want to talk about fucking hubris, sheer fucking hubris. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, and guess what? Somebody at Disney just got accused of Lucas partnership specialist accused of sexual assault. Yeah, no, I'm going to back off of that one though. Yeah, just so we can stare at this image. And it's unbelievable and it's believable all at the same time. All at the same freaking time. Dr. Mask for $4.99. Gary, did the comic industry learn nothing from seduction of the innocent? No, they didn't. Because they didn't know about it. These fucking posers who are in the industry and in and around it and running it, aside from Warren Ellis and others, they don't know shit about shit. Okay, they all came from the alternative press. They all came from the Portland Mafia. They all came through Warren Ellis's forum. And honestly, they ended up eating themselves alive. While Indiegogo is growing, their industry is shrinking, and Comicsgate beat their ass at this point. So many people were willing to throw dirt on the grave of Comicsgate. I thought it was over a couple times, but man, they've survived. They couldn't look any better right now. They could not look any fucking better right now. And if I know some people don't like the personalities, tough shit. They've won. They've won. So now we have Kelly Sue DeConnick scrambling to save her image and willing to run over anybody to do it. And even people who support her, there's going to be a lot of people who supported her before are even going to look at that and go, oh, wow. Every time you bend the knee, every time you stab somebody in the back, it just exposes you further. So honestly, the best course of action sometimes is to let them do themselves in. I take responsibility for making sure my house is stocked with crunchy peanut butter instead of cream. Oh, okay. For $5. I like them both. I have no preference. Liver detox meds. Mr. Scott, J87 for $5. No, I don't need it for weight loss. I suspect toxic buildup. Tried functional and alt medicine. Not much release. Please tweet me at JA7Mr. Yeah, I'll try to bring it up for you right now. Hang on. Listen, I'm not Alex Jones like plugging my special medicine. It helps support our issues for fighting the gayness of frogs and everything. No, but this is something that worked for me. It helped me lose 50 pounds in a month. All right. You have to follow it strictly. I was in my late 40s when I did this too. I have an Amazon page. I could never find it though when I need it. There it goes. So I have an Amazon page and stuff I recommend on the live stream. You can go here and this is where you can find it. You can use it. You don't have to use it. I don't plug it as much as I should. But here it goes. I'm going to put the link in the chat. And, oh shit, I just lost it. Geek Chic, right? It's under Geek Chic, I believe. There it is. Oh, there's only one left. You better get it. There's you can get 14-day too, but here we go. Right there. So this is called Core Restore 7-Day, and you can get it on Amazon. And it worked for me. So it's a liver cleanse. It took me 30 days, 40 days. I lost 60 pounds in 40 days, 50 pounds in 30 days. I didn't eat for the first 3 days. And I followed these instructions. I basically cut out salt and sugar and starch from my life. And it works immediately. I also worked out every day though. Every single day. So I would say you would have to do a minimum of 30 minutes of cardio every day along with this every single day. And if you're not doing it for weight, it's a chemical cleanse too. You'll feel freaking great. This was my sponsor. My AA sponsor is a men's health physician, and he turned me on to this, and it worked. So there, end of commercial. Somebody asked in the super chat, just in case you're just coming in. Omega Ordained for $20. I love your show, Gary. First time I got to see the Nooner as I have to work at this time. I'm a smaller YouTuber that only covers sci-fi when it was good. Would love to have you come on. I would love to see some new faces. Have a great day. Oh, so go check out. Is this your channel? Is this what it's called? Omega Ordained. So check out Omega Ordained. And he just covers good sci-fi. Oh my God. Is her name Deconic? Deconic? I didn't realize that. I've been pronouncing it Ducani all these years. Oops. P.S. Opened your P.O. box lately? Peppermint oil basket. The packages are here. I have not opened any of them yet. I have been buried with work. But I will get to them. Bamagrad for $10. Disney had the luxury damn it, Gary, what the hell? Disney had the luxury of excess theme park revenues to back fund money losing social projects. Those days are over and the money is scarce. AT&T got the memo, so DC Comics might change. Will Disney? No, Disney will not change, Bamagrad. They will not fucking change. Not in a million years. Neither will Bad Robot. But that's why I put it in the title. JJ Abrams versus the DCEU. I think I'm seeing opposing ideologies about to clash. And I think you can put it no simpler than this. Jar Jar versus the Snyder Cut. Which do you choose? I can guarantee you Jar Jar Abrams will be far worse than anything Zack Snyder can do. Jar Jar Abrams is terrible for Hollywood. As Doomcock puts it, he is the cinematic antichrist, and he fills all of his stuff full of identity politics and agenda, and he does it deceivingly. He is a snake oil salesman. He is the worst of the worst, and he's not even that talented. That's the thing. Snyder, at least it wasn't filled with identity politics. You could argue how entertaining it was, but at least it wasn't divisive. People didn't like, I think a lot of the rage over the Snyder Cut stuff was a lot of Marvel fanboys, and I think it was just easy to hate. And I think time has been kind to it. I could be wrong. There were certainly people who came out against the Snyder Cut. I doubt any of those were genuine arguments. It was either Marvel shilling or they just wanted to be contrarian. The Gray Ghost for $5. I pledge to spend money on YouTubers I like. Then give it to a modern comic creator. Hashtag pencils and penises down. Yes. Yes. Ginger H for $2. Men never say the comics pledge. Creepy alert, says Ginger. I agree with you. You want to sound creepy, pledge the comic or say the comics pledge. Modalicious for $2. The individual is the smallest minority. Very good there. Thundercats Ho for £2. Bryan Singer getting canceled. Hollywood pedo ring. Is he getting canceled right now? Again? I mean, he should have been canceled a long time ago, dude. But we need, that one needs to be blown wide open for real. Let me check Twitter. The Avengers is trending. The first goddamn thing I look at, and here's the problem. I ain't got time for this. Now I've got like 90 videos to make. This will be part of my comic one. Fuck. It just never ends, man. It never ends. This... I wish I had grown up and seen myself in an Avengers video game, and the fact that a whole generation of brown kids and Muslim kids will see themselves as a main character fighting with the Avengers makes me so happy. A lot of you won't understand how special this feels. It shouldn't feel special. And those characters were around in the comic books forever. Can I speak to every video game? I don't know. Let me think. Wasn't Black Panther in a couple of games? I'm thinking, yeah. I don't know about Muslim. Is she praying to the east in this game? Does she stop the game to pray to the east? Or not sure how they do it. Sorry, but we have an entire society who feels like they need to see themselves in the fictional characters they are watching because of narcissism. Narcissism. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, I was brain farting the name for a second there, but Ultimate Alliance. I seem to remember a bunch of characters being in Ultimate Alliance, but I guess I could be wrong. I like the first one. That was a fun game. All right. Lady Gravemaster, the Archangel Michael is being canceled now. Oh, yeah. I heard they were bringing down statues. Weren't they going to go after the White Jesus too? They're as they do this, they're doing more damage to their own cause. Timber says Eskimono for $1.99. Soap maker for $5. Is it too bad that Warren Ellis didn't predict this one is his funniest? Oh, is it too bad that Warren Ellis didn't predict this one in one of his futurist pamphlets? Soap maker for $5. That's good. That's good. Warren Ellis is known for predicting things. Did he predict his own cancellation? I don't know. Crazy Cat Guy for $5. The Titanic can't turn on a dime. Nice. 2. I hope you don't mind if I borrow this and use it when the proper moment presents itself. Dude, use it. Everybody use it. The comic industry. The Titanic can't turn on a dime. I'm going to have to wrap this one up, folks. If I don't get to all the super chats, I will add this to the super chat square up that will go tonight. I do have many, many videos to make. I'm sorry. I usually will let this go. But peppermint oil capsule for £2. Open the salon. Avoid jail by doing cop's hair for free. That's a good idea. No, it's up to Mel. I told her to open the salon. And listen, I am not a big deal. But if cops went and stopped her, I would not shut up about it. For one, I would be there trying to stop them. I wouldn't just let them, I don't think they would take my wife away. That would look really bad. I think they would fine her. But no, we have to open right now. Like, we have to open. The PPP money's gone. We have employees to pay. We already have employees who don't want to come back now. So it's like, I don't know. The Motley 1969, thank you for the $2. Amraphel for $2. Orion women were formative. Also sent you an email. Thank you, my friend. I will check it after the show. Orville Nation for $20. Gary, I hope this is okay. One of our colleagues, DJ Odyssey, has 5,500 viewing hours and just needs subs to monetize. Wondering if it would be okay if we shouted out his channel. Thank you. Many blessings. You are awesome. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you did, but it's fine. It's fine. Go check out DJ Odyssey. How many subs does he need? How many subs does he need? I'll check. He needs 500 subs. Well, here's how you get 500 subs. It's good to get a shout out. I got him. We'll shout out DJ Odyssey. But once he gets the subs, you got to put out content consistently, and it's up to DJ Odyssey to hold him in. We had a little kerfuffle in the Fandom Menace it was almost a year ago to the day, where I'll just say an unnamed channel felt like they were owed something because they had come in and participated in the community, given us a couple super chats. We had definitely shouted this channel out. We have had the channel on a live stream, and I fully intended to have the channel on a future live stream. Kind of spaced it for a little while, but I do that. But I end up doing what I say I'm going to do. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but I do it. Channel didn't like it. Channel got mad. Channel made a video, which that channel has every right to do. I have no problem with that. And it hurt the channel. It hurt the channel. Didn't hurt my channel. Didn't hurt the other channel he was talking about. It hurt his channel. And the reason it hurt his channel, because it sounded entitled. And you don't want to do that. DJ Odyssey has just been working, having fun. And he, if you want to go check out, I know DJ Odyssey. So go check out his videos. And that's what you do. You can get all the shout outs you want from us. And I'll continue to shout people out and bring them on and help them out. But it's up to the channel to keep them coming. And I honestly don't have to do anything beyond that. I would be happy to help people where I can, because I got help too. But there's only so much I can do. I can't keep them there. I can't force them to stay there. It's up to you. But yeah, we need more channels. I want, again, recruiting drive. We want more channels. We need more voices. For Mrs. Nerdrotic, green body paint fund, says Battle Him 63 for $5. How did you know? How did you know? Culture Casino, thank you for the $1.49. And the Phallic Unicorn, Crazy Cat Guy, thank you for the $1.49 and the ice cream. Nettled Nerds for $2. Lost my uncle yesterday. Thanks for the escapism. Nettled Nerds, I am so sorry. Nettled Nerds, awesome. Listen, let me see if I can... I'm sorry to hear about that. May he rest in peace, my friends. And let me make sure I spelled that right. I'll have to do it next time. Nettle Nerds, you have my sympathies, and I hope your uncle is in a better place right now. And yeah, there's no words I can say that'll help. I remember losing my pops, lost my dad in 2001. It took me years to get over it. Years. So I'll try to continue to be your escapism. Hiram for $2. At Lindy Beige, Lloyd as the next Doctor. Sure. I'll give you some insight to the future of Doctor Who in my next video. And believe me, this should upset all the right people. I take responsibility to say F Naughty Dog for 2 Canadian pesos from Canceled Venom. Leroy Baca for $10. Thanks for keeping my long army day grounded with interesting content. Oh, well, Leroy, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. And I will do my best to keep, hopefully the days will go by a little faster. I mean, not in a bad way. Hopefully they keep you busy. Hopefully you come back without a scratch. And again, thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate you. Boston Jared for $5. Do you consider Bendis a member of the Stay Woke Mafia? I think he's been on one of the best writers in the industry for a long time. I like a lot of early Bendis. I do. I think he's part of it, yes, but he's quietly part of it. He is quietly part of it. I think he destroyed Superman, though. He utterly destroyed Superman, and his writing of late has been awful. But I don't know, 10 years ago I liked him. His Ultimate Spider-Man stuff was great. Not going to deny that. Apollome's Minion for $5. I take responsibility for not dropping my wet towels on the floor. Have a wonderful day. A few dollars for your move. Thank you, Apolloni's Minion. Dreary Nitpicker for $4.99. I have been binge watching Venture Brothers. Thanks to you. I love it. I love the Bowie references and the Hanna-Barbera cartoon references and the jokes. Great show. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Greatest animated show on television, currently running, The Venture Brothers. Watch it now. It's on Hulu. You know what? You go to Hulu, you can watch The Orville and The Venture Brothers in the same place. In the same place. Go Team Venture. Where in Texas are you moving? Don't say Dallas. Place is way too crowded. Miss the Bay, but way cheaper and relaxed out here. Open gun range in your comic shop, says Hooch Be Crazy for $4.99. That's a great idea. We'll call it the Punisher range. And we could put up comics like by Kelly Sue DeConnick and use them as target practice. San Antonio is a possibility. Suburbs, but San Antonio is a possibility. I forgot Frisco. Grace Randolph has 2 sources reporting Warner Brothers working on Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern cameo in Justice League Snyder Cut. Also, Cavill says he wants to play Superman for years. Battle lines have been drawn against Jar Jar Abrams. IK1906 for $10. You are correct. We are seeing 2 complete different philosophies converging. One, Warner Brothers paid $500 million to get. I would use that force majeure clause as soon as I could because Jar Jar will just fuck it up. He's not a team player. He wants to lead his own team. He sees himself as the Kevin Feige of DC when he's just the Jar Jar Abrams of Star Wars and Star Trek. I don't doubt Grace Randolph. I'm sure she's got great sources. Here, I'm going to give you a little insight. You guys know this. So the content cops out there in the YouTube police get mad when Doomcock runs with the rumor. They get all upset. Their panties get in a bunch. Now they'll tell you because it makes all YouTubers look bad. Amazingly enough, it's Andy Signor and it's Monday Matt. These are the people who have called these people out for making other YouTubers look bad, which is just irony, like packaged. So, listen, I hope those two content creators do fine, but they have both called out Doomcock, all right, on his rumors. And I'm not saying I believe every single rumor I hear on YouTube. But Doomcock has every right to do what he wants with this channel because we're fans. So, for example, if we were in a comic shop together, shooting the shit, if we heard Grace Randolph's rumor, we'd talk about it, wouldn't we? Now, if one of our friends worked in the industry and told us something and said we're allowed to talk about it, we'd talk about it, wouldn't we? Because we love talking about this shit. It's part of fandom. So the disingenuous people out there who are so concerned about Doomcock or yours truly or Jeremy or anybody else who runs with rumors, we know it's bullshit. We know you want the rumors. Well, and some of them have gone out and said that basically that people have been making this shit up. I've had people reaching out to me since I started this channel, since I had 300 subscribers. We had an actress from Happy on this show because she was watching our recaps when I had 300 subscribers. I started getting Star Trek news sent to me when I had 10,000 subscribers. Now I get stuff sent to me, not a lot. I would say once a week, once every other week. A lot of it is stuff a lot of it is stuff I am not allowed to talk about. I know stuff right now that I could get 1 million clicks on a video. Easy. I would never say it because I promised I wouldn't say anything. But there's stuff I know right now that I could tell you all that would be breaking news for the entertainment industry. But I promise not to tell. What I'm allowed to tell with Doctor Who, I'm allowed to tell because they said I could say something. So I'm going to say something. Do I talk about rumors a lot? No, I'd rather mostly talk about other people's rumors. I prefer to talk about like what's actually happened, but with Doctor Who, I'll mess around a little bit. When it comes to the rumor with Doomcock. Sorry, do you hear that there's construction going on next door? Sorry. The rumor with Doomcock, his recent rumor is there's a plan to save Star Wars, that they are going to erase the Disney trilogy from canon, and they're going to put it with the extended universe, because the extended universe is called the Legends, right? It's called Legends. So Doomcock said that they were going to put the new Disney trilogy into the Legends. I don't believe this. I think it's far-fetched. I'll be honest. I think it's far-fetched. I want it to be true. I would love for them to erase the new Disney trilogy away from canon. I already have in my head. It doesn't count. Nothing Disney does counts. But the reason I find it hard to believe is they just released a novel tying into the Disney trilogy, like within the last couple of months, right? And they're releasing another one soon. They're still releasing stuff. Now, could they change their mind? Sure. Did we hear from Jon Favreau that he hated The Last Jedi, and he said publicly, I believe, that we need to start listening to the fans more? Do I see things changing? Great. Here's my theory. I don't think we're going to get to the High Republic. I'm sorry. I'll get to it. We'll get to it on Friday Night Tights. We'll read it on Friday Night Tights. But my theory is Kevin Feige might be coming in to take over Star Wars. Again, this is just my theory. And he and Jon Favreau, who are one of the architects of the MCU, might come in to rebuild Star Wars in a Marvel kind of way. And maybe they would have the power to do this. That would be the only way I could believe it. That if Kevin Feige said, okay, if Iger went to Feige and Kathleen Kennedy and said, please fix this mess. And he said, okay, but you got to erase the Disney trilogy from canon. I need something to work with. That would be the only way I could believe that. And I don't think it would happen. As a matter of fact, I know it wouldn't happen. If I'm proven wrong on this, I'll admit it. I don't think it'll happen with Kathleen Kennedy there. I just don't. So that's my opinion on that. But Doomcock has every right to run with that rumor, and we'll discuss it on the Inquisition. And I don't care. I think it's great. I think it's great that people want to talk rumors on the internet. That's what fandom is. That's what fandom does. And when you see other channels like Spurg Out and Jealousy, guys, just focus on your own stuff, man. They'll never listen though. They never do. Go Team Venture, by the way. Good news. The Senate is compiling UFO info and working on getting it out in the open, says Eric Stuller for $10. That's great news. I got to look into that for the Exozone. Awesome. I'm curious, are we going to tear down the pyramids because of slavery? I want everyone tearing down these statues to get rid of their products from China due to their slave labor. And I'm just saying, Drury Nitpicker for $9.99. Yes. You mean Bad Robot, who strongly supports that government? Absolutely. Great Loner for $5. Here's some bones to support yours, to support you. Glad you have honorable like Mikey Woods as a mod. I like Mikey Woods. I met Mikey Woods in New York. Can you confirm whether or not there is really an exclusive Cannibal Club restaurant in LA? They have a website. Joan of Arc 33, 1999. I cannot confirm that. I can confirm that there's a magic restaurant, a magic theme restaurant, the Magic Castle. You have to become a member. And it costs a lot of money. The food is great. And you have magicians come to your table. Yeah. I can't confirm the other one though. No. Paisley Gemini for $4.99. Hail, Gary. I don't see myself in you because I'm Hispanic. So I'm going to stop watching your channel. You know, I'm kidding. Love you, bro. I love you too. Thank you. Yeah. You know, I don't identify with a blonde high school cheerleader, yet that is one of my favorite shows of all time. Money to shill for my channel, says Modalicious for $2. There you go. I mean, dude, you don't have to give me money. I'll shill for your channel. Check out Modalicious. He's Modalicious on YouTube. Andrew Sabine for $5. Gary, pick up the Go Team Venture, The Art of Making the Venture Brothers. I think you'll like it. It's in that bookcase right over there. It's in that bookcase right over there. But thank you. It's a great book. It's actually, if you go to that Amazon thing I showed you, right? It's in my recommendations there. Oh, what was I forgot what I was going to Twitter for. I was going to see if Bryan Singer was being canceled. I didn't see anything. All right, we got to wrap this up. We'll see how much we got to go here. Oh, okay, we're good. I'm sure I missed some. So I missed it. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. I thought I got them all on Friday Night Tights. That must be hard. Did you hear it? My phone was talking to me. She said, sorry. She said, I'm sorry. That must be hard. I don't know why she said that. Where was I? Yeah, I thought I got them all on Friday Night Tights. You think in an 8-hour live stream, but I didn't. So that is recorded. If I missed any here, I will add to them. Okay. Gary, I read that. Oh, Stebson Gold for £5. China equals commies. BLM equals commies. Conspiracy theory overload. That is for the Exozone. The next Exozone, we're going to talk about all that stuff. I think it's going to be on Live, though. Ryan DeLucci for $4.99. Woke warning about San Antonio. The city council voted to ban Chick-fil-A from airport and labeled Chinese virus what? Well, I'm going to live in the suburbs. Ryan, I will not be living in a city ever again. I will be in the country or the suburbs. For example, like if I stayed in California, I would live in North County, San Diego, a town like Vista or Escondido or San Marcos, which are like suburb towns. 30 miles away from downtown San Diego, 100 miles away from LA, but you're still in it enough where you can get some shopping done and stuff. Maybe something like that. Hey, Gary, here's $10. If I may humbly shill for Deepwell on Indiegogo. Thanks for all you do. And we are at Chibi Comics. Love your content. All the best. Mike Murphy. Yeah, I'll go look it up real quick as we close things out. What's it called again now? Deepwell on Indiegogo. And again, check out Black Flag on Indiegogo as well. I don't see it. Is it Caliber of Death? Is it called? 9 days left. Okay, here we go. This is it. Check it out. Deepwell, the Caliber of Death. And I'll get you the link. No gods or lawmen are going to save the innocent. It's up to the devil himself. The Block family founded the town of Deepwell and then tore themselves apart, trying to control it. When the Gray Devil arrived, it was like adding fire to kerosene. Deepwell, the Caliber of Death, follows the exploits of the Block family and their Gray Devil, the mysterious mass vigilante, hell-bent on destroying them and their legacy. Try beef, it's what's for dinner. There you go. I will put that in the chat. Check it out. And don't forget our boy Fragaboom. Yeah, sorry I didn't get to this, right? The Karen Republic. I'm going to have to change the title of the live stream, but we'll get to it on Friday Night Tights. We'll do a live dramatic reading. I think a live dramatic reading on Friday Night Tights. I don't have a guest yet. I will have a guest by the end of the evening. I know who I want. So we'll see. I'm going to wrap this thing up, folks. I need to go make some videos. It's time to go make some videos. So thank you to the Nerdrotics, who are Lori Wilson, Chris Persia, Mark Lerzeth, Mikey Woods. Who else do we got here? Sheila Allen. And I forgot who else was in here. Got Nihilist Shadow. There's a lot of people out there. So thanks everyone for being, and thank you for all the super chats, the donations. I greatly appreciate it. You are literally keeping the lights on. And I'll let you know when the salon opens up. I think it's really, really close. And you are helping fund a future comic store. A future comic store, a place where you can buy Indiegogo comics, a place where you can buy Alterna comics, and a place where you can freely speak your mind about anything or anyone. It will be an unsafe space. It will be an unsafe space. Where it will be, I do not know yet, but it will be up soon. You'll be able to buy vinyl. You'll be able to buy comics. You'll be able to buy vintage toys, comic book supplies, cards, gaming, Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS, everything. It's going to be fun. And you'll be able to get a haircut. And I have a name. I want to call it the Comic Outpost. I want to call it by the old comic shop name. I'll see if I can get it. I'll see if I can get it. But I fully intend to call it the Outpost. I think the Outpost name is applicable. If not, then I don't know, Toxic Comics or something like that. We'll see. Or maybe we'll vote on a name. But in the meantime, everybody have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe. We need you guys now more than ever. We'll see who's canceled tomorrow. Next live stream will be Friday Night Tights on this channel. And hopefully there'll be an Exozone tomorrow. But that depends on if I get my videos done or not. So I'll let you know. Not all who wander are lost. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather, and you bow to no one. Ciao.